I reckon BMW is the car company equivalent of Britney Spears, because it did things in the past that were great and we should celebrate, and it went through some dark times, and it's come out the other side, and now it's doing things on social media that make you go, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would show you what I mean, but this video would get taken down for nudity. That's because it feels as if BMW is alienating its performance car fans. All of its performance cars are getting bigger, heavier, uglier, and the marketing is getting a bit weird. But the people that like BMW for its practical cars have never had it so good. And I'm going to show you why with the new BMW X1. Sure, the X1 has slightly contracted BMW's big grille itis, but it's more of a delicate hamster's mouth than the full-on beaver tooth situation of the M4. But BMW says this new X1 has been designed with practicality above all else. So in this video, we're going to investigate that, see if it's true or a pack of lies. But first, I'm going to show you the standard for LED headlights, which are standard on all X1 models. They get upgraded to matrix LED ones on top spec M Sport models. This one is a mid-spec X-Line. That practical theme continues with the boot. You get an electric opening boot on every version of the X1, and it's actually a huge space as well. 540 litres. It's almost 100 litres more than the Volvo XC40. It's a little bit bigger than the Audi Q3, and it's just a vast space with loads of underfloor storage, although you do lose quite a bit of the underfloor storage if you get one of the plug-in hybrid models or the all-electric iX1. But yeah, it is bigger than a BMW 3 Series, I think. Not like the whole car, just the 3 Series' boot. And I'm not even sure that's a fact. Actually, we can check this because handily, cameraman Ollie has just bought a BMW 3 Series with all the money we're throwing at him to film motorpoint videos. So I can check to see if the X1's boot is bigger than a 3 Series. This is about 500 litres in a 3 Series Touring, and it looks about the same sort of space. You can probably load the X1 up a little bit higher. So overall, I think the X1 wins the boot space challenge against a car we weren't meant to be filming, the BMW 3 Series. Touring. Right, I was about to do the thing where I hop in the car and show you the interior and the practicality in the cabin, but listen to this door shut. Sounds really cheap. Does it on the back doors as well. Doesn't feel like a solid BMW from the olden days. But anyway, let's check out the interior. Up front, the X1's cabin feels spacious, it feels airy, and it feels high-tech thanks to a big 11-inch touchscreen there and a 10-inch digital driver's display. It feels very modern, and it feels very airy because you've got space under here. It's not a big solid center console. So there's loads of storage. There's big door bins, they're not felt lined. You've got a big glove box, and you've got a little space under here as well. And you've got a wireless phone charger here, and it kind of clamps your phone vertically to charge it. There is an elephant in the room though, and that is because BMW has removed its rotary iDrive controller from its cheaper models, of which the X1 is unfortunately one. So there's no way of operating the touchscreen other than by touching it, which means you've got to take your eyes off the road more often. And it's also annoying because all of the climate controls are operated through the touchscreen as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a backward step. Now on the upside, you get a reversing camera and cruise control as standard. And optionally, you can have a head-up display which uses augmented reality to flash up direction arrows when you're approaching your junction, but it only really works with the built-in sat-nav, not with Apple Maps or anything like that on your phone, which is a bit of a shame. Another shame is it does feel a bit plasticky and cheap in places. This all feels a bit plasticky and a bit naff, but do you know what doesn't feel plasticky? The like and subscribe button on this video. Why don't you touch them and see how they feel? If things are pretty good in the front, they're ausgezeichnet in the back. It's easy for me to say. Got more headroom than in any rival, including the Volvo XC40. Knee room is pretty good. I'm 6'3", and that is in my driving position, and I've got room, loads of room under the seats. The only real downside is that there's a bit of a hump in the middle of the floor. But that said, there's a wide middle seat here. Got 2 USB-Cs down there, and on mid-spec X-Line cars and above, the seats even recline a little bit. So does it feel like a BMW to drive? Well, mostly. Actually, most X1s are front-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive, although there are some four-wheel drive options, namely the 2 plug-in hybrids, which can do 50 miles on a charge, which is pretty impressive. And then the all-electric iX1 is a dual-motor setup. That can do about 270 miles on a full charge. I'm in the S-Drive 18D, so I've got a 2-litre diesel with 150 horsepower. Gets about 50 mpg in the real world, and it's fast enough. It's a little bit grumbly when you properly put your foot down, but show me a 4-cylinder diesel that isn't. What isn't quite so good is the ride. Over bumpy roads, this does jolt you about a bit and it can get a little bit annoying, and its rivals such as the Range Rover Evoque are better in that regard. But this does feel BMW-ish. Despite being front-wheel drive, it's got nice light steering, it's very direct, and you soon get used to that lightness, and it does help when you're parallel parking around town. But yeah, it feels nimble, feels agile, it feels kind of like it wants to be chucked into corners, which you can't say for most of its rivals. Refinement is good in this car as well. At motorway speeds, you're not getting too much tyre or wind noise. Just a decent all-round SUV that is slightly more set up for sportiness than comfort. Oh, and if you get a top spec M Sport model, that comes with adaptive suspension that you can make more comfortable or harder depending on your mood. But I've driven that, and even in the most comfortable mode, it's not massively comfortable. Anyway, let's go to Motorpoint for a conclusion. Sure, BMW's wobbly years might be a bit more in your face than Britney's weird social media moments, but the X1 does prove they can still do practical SUVs when it matters. And the X1 is still a very good, reasonably premium, spacious SUV with a few minor drawbacks, such as the removal of the iDrive controller, which is frankly the biggest shooting yourself in the foot moment of recent automotive history, and some of the engines can be a bit grumbly. But overall, if you're looking for a spacious mid-sized family SUV that's quite fun to drive, this is one of the best out there, apart from that noise. If you've made it this far in the video, then well, blimey, frankly, and if you have enjoyed it, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, because there's plenty more car reviews coming soon, hopefully ones where I don't have to squint into the sun at my cameraman's behest. See you later.